Welcome back to BHP UK, Kate.
Thanks for having me, Cal.
Right, so what are we doing to this today?
Okay, so when I first got the bike and took it on track for the first time, I'm riding along, say I'm on like a tight bend or a tight corner and I'm in second gear and wanting to reintroduce the throttle is violently snatchy.
Right.
Like to the point where it's quite disconcerting and I just feel sick when I'm coming up to slow corners because of how on-off that throttle was. We had a temporary fix, which Mike had a play around with the throttle position sensors.
Right.
And it smoothed out the throttle, but it made the exhaust pop and bang like a crazy bike.
Right, okay.
On track, people would come up to me afterwards and be like, there's something wrong with your bike, it does not sound right.
Right.
So it solved the problem of the throttle, but it was just popping like crazy. Like every time you shut off, bang, bang, like a shotgun literally going off. So we've just put the throttle position sensor back to how it was, just to see if there's anything you guys can do in terms of smoothing it out a little bit.
Okay. Not
Not massively bothered about performance gains, horsepower, anything like that, but just to make it less scary when it's on track.
And what sort of throttle openings are you finding it really snatchy? Below 50%, below 25%? Just as you're winding back on?
Yeah, literally, it's quite imminent as I'm winding it back on, so it makes me scared to even just reintroduce it because I'm just scared that it's going to like lunge me forward. Not quite sure on like the percentages because I've been riding it with that throttle position a bit different, so it has been fine. But I know that before we started messing around with it, it was just frightening.
Right, well, let's get on the dyno, let's see what it's doing.
Awesome.
And then we'll get the ECU out and see what it's doing.
Sounds good.
And get a flash on it.
Cool.
Right, cool. So, for the base runs, so we ran the bike at 25, 50, 75 and 100% throttle, didn't we?
We did.
And the base runs up to about 5,500 RPM. It was really lean. I mean, we were looking at 16.7 to 1. And then above that, above about 6,000 revs onwards, it was still really lean.
And that's what was accounting for the snatch?
I think so. Yeah. So at 25% we had that. 50% we were still very lean. These bikes tended to be a bit richer than this standard. It's probably the exhaust setup.
Yes.
It's made it fairly lean. Even at 50% it was lean. And at Cantonese at 75 was about the same sort of air fuel ratios. And at 100%, prior to 6,500 revs, there was a really big lean spot. 6.5 to 10, it was okay. And then it leaned off again. So I've added fuel everywhere, quite a lot at the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's 25% now. And we've added a chunk of fuel everywhere. We've feathered down to about 5,500 RPM to about 13.3, 13.4.
So the blue is before, the
Yeah.
red is after,
Yeah,
and it's closer to that. Do you call it a datum line?
datum line, yeah. We can set that datum line to whatever we want. It is on this one, particular one set at 13.2, which is an old metric that tuners use a lot. It's not the be-all and end-all like people think it is, not in my opinion anyway. But you do need to really be around that sort of figure to get the best from your bike. So like I say, we haven't really done a huge number for these bikes.
Yeah.
This are newer bikes that we tend to specialise in.
That's it. So when you get the newer bikes and then you get the constant feedback and you can work out how it runs.
Yeah, that's how we develop a bike. So we'll do a run on it, see that it we get what we want to get in theory, and then go and try it in practice.
Yeah.
And
then tweak.
Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're not, and you need to retweak it when you get it back with the with the feedback from the rider.
Well, in theory, it looks like it should be a lot better. So fingers crossed, and then I can always feed it back to you guys and take it from there.
There's a wide open throttle. We've gone from 129 to 131. See if you can feel the difference on the track.
Oh, I doubt it at my skill level, but it's nice to say, isn't it? 131 at the back wheel.
Yeah. It's enough power, isn't it, really?
Oh, it's plenty for me, to be fair.
Well, it's fun, really. And we're pretty much where we want to be on the fueling. So even at wide open throttle on the stock map, we had a real lean spot here, up to 6,000 RPM. And it was okay between 8 and 10, but then it leaned off again for some strange reason. But we're exactly where we want to be, in theory. Let you have the bike back.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to keep us posted as to how you get on.
100%. I'll let you guys know.
Brilliant. A pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much.